All right, let us say hello to Gable Steveson. He has entered a couple of new realms in the combat sports world recently, just made his successful MMA debut. Now he's heading to the Dirty Boxing Ring on October 30th, headlining DBX4 in Nashville and faces Billy Swanson. Gable, how are you, sir?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. The MMA debut finally happened. LFA 217 in Minnesota took on Braden Peterson in front of a sold out crowd. And man, you went in there and you made it look easy with one of the quickest takedowns I've ever seen in heavyweight MMA, some brutal
Mhm.
ground and pound to get the finish. What was the experience like for you? And did you expect it to go as easily as it did, or at least as easy as it looked?
Well, you're right. The heavyweight debut did happen, and it finally happened. And I'm glad that it happened in the way that it did. But also, the best thing about it was just the fashion that it happened in. Like you just said, the fast single leg takedown, the brutal ground and pound, the control on top. And that's what I was looking for. And you always got the butterflies when you go in there and you've got an opponent like Peterson. We looked at him for a long time, and he was ready. He came in ready. He came in trying to hit. But we came in better. We came in ready to go out there and dominate and show the world who we are, and that's exactly what I did. And I'm proud of my performance. And it's cool to say that it gets better than that.
We knew this day was coming, that one day you would make your way into the MMA world, into a cage. It was sort of just a matter of when. Why now? Why was LFA 217 the time to make it happen and turn this page and start this
Mhm.
professional mixed martial arts journey?
I think LFA 217 was perfect because it was in the best state of in the country, Minnesota. And that's where I'm from. That's where I went to college. That's where I won everything I've done is from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, why not give the first one to the hometown?
Any like learning experiences, takeaways, like anything you sort of gathered from that fight? Because yeah, Braden landed a couple of leg kicks early, but to me, you seem like a perfectionist, and despite it being such a dominant performance, and maybe I'm wrong, you're officially an MMA fighter now. Something tells me you probably rewatched the fight and maybe saw a thing or two you weren't happy with, even though
Mhm.
nobody else saw that. Is that accurate, or did you think this is about as flawless as it could be for you?
Of course, there's so many places that I want to get better in, and that's why I signed up for DBX4, just because I want to answer those questions. You saw a fast takedown, you saw ground and pound, you saw elbows, and how about let's put it on the feet? Let's put the hands on the feet. Let's put the elbows on the feet. Let's have this guy fall and ground and get on top of him and take care of business. And so that's a question that needs to be answered, and I'm ready to answer that question. And I would not sign up for Dirty Boxing 4 if I was not ready, and if my coach, which some people know his name, Jon Jones, says I'm ready. We're ready to take on that challenge. So October 30th, man, we're gonna show the world that I can stand on the feet and I can be that guy and I can take a guy down and I can beat a guy up on the feet and do both. And so that's why I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, because it's all about being complete in this game.
It is.
Obviously you're a wrestler, and you have good ground and pound, but being able to stand there and strike with a guy who's fought for Bellator and he's had pro MMA experience and he's a good
Mhm.
striker too. Like this seemed like a really interesting challenge. And I got to be honest, when the MMA debut was done, I think many expected it. I know I did. Maybe he'll come back November, December and fight for LFA again. And then come 2026, he's
Mhm.
probably in the UFC and doing his thing, or worst case on the Contender Series. I did
Mhm.
not see this dirty boxing thing coming from a mile away. I understand why you did it, but after that LFA 217 fight, if I called you an hour after that fight and I said, "Hey man, your next fight's going to be in dirty
Yeah.
boxing," would you believe me?
Probably not. But if you was me and you saw it the way I saw it, I think it's a great opportunity to show the world that we need to answer questions. And I don't want to go into fights having people not know that I can't be complete and that I can't go out there and be the guy that I want to be. And like we talked about, takedown, ground and pound. And now they're gonna see a great performance from me standing up and just getting busy.
Is there going to be a part of you that, how are you like training for this? Because I know, instinctually you're going to shoot, like you're going to grab a leg and try to do something, but now like that can't be done here. In fact, if there's even apparently a clinch or any sort of hug situation, there's going to be points deducted. New
Yeah, and
rules for
that's
your
fine.
debut. You like this?
I like that. I don't want you to clinch me. I want to go out there and we gonna stand face to face. And I want to look into your eyes and let you know that I'm coming for you. And that's the best thing about this. And I think that's the real reason why I wanted to come out there Dirty Boxing October 30th in Nashville to go out there and show everybody and guys like you and everyone else is gonna see and be like, hey, can this question be answered? And most definitely can be answered because I got all the answers to the test before I even go out there.
When you're breaking down the LFA performance and you're finding these flaws,
Mhm.
what's John saying to you? What are the coaches saying to you? You're like, dude, calm down. It was your first fight, or how are they? Are they agreeing with you? What are those conversations like?
Agreeing, but they're also like, calm down. It's the first fight. But if you know if you know Gable, you know that I've been on the highest stages of my whole life. You know, thankfully and humbly to say that I've been in a lot of great places, Olympic champion matches, NCAA finals, so many great places. And I think I'm always gonna have a hard time with how I competed, whether it was great, whether it was not great. You know, I've always want to clean it up because that's what makes a champion even better. And that because there comes a time where you're gonna be a champion and something you got to repeat, and people are gonna want to say, how can he get better? And I've always been big on, if I can show you once, I can show you again, and I can show you again, and then I'll make you believe until you can't believe, until you just can't say that I do not believe in this guy.
Have you been to Have you been to one of these yet? You've been
Yes,
in the arena,
I've been
okay.
to one dirty boxing. Yes.
Do you like what's it like being there? Because I mean, the rules, I enjoy watching it from afar. I think the pacing's great.
Mhm.
I think they should always be at the hangar and go nowhere else. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
see dirty boxing at an NBA arena. It doesn't make any sense to me. But
No.
in that building with that platform, the small, just sort of intimate setting, I think it's absolutely perfect. You must love that, like going out there, because and also just having no idea who might actually be there. Like Shaquille
Mhm.
O'Neal might come and watch you fight.
I mean, that's true. I've always liked stadiums, but I think for this, the hangar is perfect. I think for small venues, these events are perfect because you can go in there and meet people and be you can be intimate with guys that you've never seen before, and you can go out there and shake hands and have great combo with people instead of being in a big stadium. A lot of people, guys like Shaq, they're in a rush to get out. They got to park underground. But in this spot, there's, hey, we got your parking spot ready. Come through the side door and have a good time. So I'm curious to see who's gonna come to Nashville, man. I heard some big names, but you never know until they show up.
Who would you like to see come out and watch you fight? Whether it's now or in the UFC, is there somebody
Now,
you'd like to fight
man.
in front of?
I would love to fight, and let's start with Nashville. I would like to in Nashville. I would like Morgan Wallen, of course. Morgan Wallen. I would like who else? A Zach Bryan type to come in there and come watch. Someone of that stature. I think in general, like if I was in a huge arena and guys had to show up, LeBron, Aaron Donald, um, someone like Jason Statham or some DiCaprio, some Sylvester Stallone type. I would like a group of those guys to come and watch and be a fan. You just never know who's gonna be a fan, and I kind of want to gravitate to the public and be like, hey, we need to watch this guy, and it's mandatory.
So you want that moment on like a UFC pay-per-view where like, oh, we're in Gable's locker room and here comes Jason Statham coming in, shaking your hand and giving
Jason
you
Statham,
wisdom and advice.
wisdom and advice. And, he's in every single action movie, and he never changes his role, but he's perfect.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Never
So
changes role.
yeah, I mean, he would be perfect just because I'm watching him at the Canelo Alvarez, the Canelo fight with Crawford. He was just sitting ringside. The camera's on him the entire time. It was just him
Man.
and
And I saw,
Turkey and
you know what? Let me add Mark Wahlberg in there too, because he was there also. Let me add Mark Wahlberg, because I feel like Mark Wahlberg is a person that I could talk to just like normal, and like have cool convo, and like, hey, what do you like to eat? What do you do on your free time type of convo, instead of a, hey, how are you? Real quick. So I think Mark Wahlberg would be crazy, crazy. Man, those
definitely.
days are gonna come. I'm excited when those days come.
We're getting ahead here, but
Yes.
as far as I mean, because we don't know what's going to happen October 3rd. You plan to go in there and take care of business and do your thing, but
Mhm.
if all things go perfectly the way you're drawing them up, is this the first and only dirty boxing fight for you, or do you think this is something you might continue doing to prepare yourself for the UFC?
I we haven't even talked that far. I'm just so focused on October 30th that I don't even know what's gonna happen after. But if I could give you some insight on what may happen after, is I'm going right back to MMA and getting where I need to go.
Do you know when? Do you have your next MMA fight booked? I mean, you have to tell me. I'm just curious if you have it.
No, I don't have a book, but I do have a time frame in mind. I would like to be as active as possible, probably once a month. So I would think middle of November.
Oh, really? So we're gonna do the dirty boxing, and then a couple weeks later have an MMA fight.
As active as possible, of course.
Very interesting. All
Yeah.
right. I like it. I like the gusto here. Uh, how much has Jon helped you? I know you view him as a coach and he's wearing this hat. And when it comes to you, he talks about wearing that
Mhm.
hat very proudly. How pivotal has he been in your growth, your development in this MMA world? Because you've helped him and now he's kind of returning the favor here. What has that
Mhm.
relationship been like for you?
Great relationship. John is probably the most complete fighter of all time. And so what better person to go and see in the flesh, and kind of be like a, how do I say, kind of be like a young figure to him that he can kind of gravitate to and be like, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it, and this is why we're gonna do it. And so I think a lot of people kind of get caught up in, we're gonna do things, but there's always a why to it. And he always has a great why on how we should train and where we should do it and how we should go about our business and how we should just, walk with our chests out and kind of, hey, you can be the guy, you gotta believe it. And so he's been really great on just believing. And so man, he's fantastic, fantastic.
Jon is, he's very paint by numbers, but he's so skilled. Like he dots the I's, he crosses the T's. Like probably the most well prepared fighter in the history of the sport. Not
Mhm.
just with the skills, but he's able to fight these fighters, take their best game and use it against them. He's so well prepared.
Perfectly.
So I'm curious. You mentioned the whys and the hows. What's the most memorable why or how that he's given you so far? Where you're just like, I didn't even really look at it that way, but Jon's right.
I mean, you probably just said it. He went into fights taking what guys did best, and somehow he did it just as good or did it better than them. And that only comes with preparation. That comes with a lot of time. And when I'm with him, we spend time like that doing things that we're not comfortable. So when those spots do come, that we are ready for. And it's incredible to see a guy see a mind frame like that and have him kind of install it into me and be like, hey, this is how we're gonna battle against certain people. This is where you need to be ready, and this is how we're gonna be ready. And so like we just mentioned, the why. A lot of people don't have that why. A lot of people just go on there and say, "Hey, we're gonna train hard today," but what did you learn? What did you get better on? But we always have a goal of like, this is our steps for the day. Tomorrow we'll hit a different step. Maybe the next day we'll do a different one, or regather what we did the first day. And that's what smart minds do. And he's the greatest mind to do it.
I think since you made this debut and people are kind of looking at the time frames right now, and of course Jon is in the news because of what happened with Alex Pereira, and I know he's going through a lot of really tough stuff right now. But it seems like he wants to fight on this White House card. It's a very big deal. It's the new UFC 300 chatter of who's going to main event and who's going to fight on it and who's going to be this
Mhm.
and that. I feel like your name has come up a lot as a guy who can make his UFC debut
Yeah,
at the freaking White House, man. I mean
and it'd
that
be
doesn't
incredible.
yeah, there's not a lot of people who can say that. So, what would that mean to you if you were to make that debut on the White House card and possibly share that card with Jon, maybe fighting Pereira or somebody else?
Man, that'll be incredible. I try not to think too big, but sometimes just big moments come and you can't deny them. And I think having an Olympic champion, an American person, a guy that's gonna go out there and represent the White House in the biggest stage possible is me. And I think it could be really nice. The fact that you even asked me, is cool. It sends a chill down me. But I think having Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira live in the flesh, main event, John will be ready because I know he will, and he'll be with me. So we'll make sure wrestling's good. We'll make sure everything else is good, and he'll take care of the rest. But I think in my terms, man, fantastic opportunity, and I to have me being younger, saying that you can be on the same card, and not just any card, a White House card that is a once in a lifetime, with Jon Jones being the main event against Alex Pereira. Woo! I couldn't even fathom. I couldn't even fathom.
What did you? I'm sure you saw like the renderings and what it might look like and
Yeah,
all of that. Like
crazy.
it's insane. It's
It's
absolutely nuts.
insane. It's insane. It's made for Showtime, and that's what John's always been. John's been Showtime, and I think that's why he deserves to be the main event on that White House card against a guy like Alex Pereira. You know, um, timing works best, and I know John knows that. And I think it's about time he might do one more.
All right. October 30th, DBX for the big debut for Gable Steveson. What are the headlines going to read when this fight's over? I know you don't like to look too far ahead. You like
Yeah.
to see how everything goes down, but
Mhm.
let's take a guess here. What are we going to be writing about on October 30th?
I think on October 31st, which is a Friday, I'll be back home and I'll be reading headlines saying that Gable Steveson can strike. Gable Steveson can be that guy that can compete at the highest level heavyweight. And Gable Steveson made us believe in him on his feet, on the ground, and everywhere else. And October 30th, man, you're gonna see. I'm excited to show.
We're very, very excited. Thank you so much, Gable. I appreciate the time, man. And all the best to you. Excited to see what it looks like in the dirty boxing ring. And, 2 weeks later, perhaps back in the MMA cage. So appreciate the
Well, I
time
appreciate it.
and all the best to you.
Nice to see you. Thank you.